The Polish voice was heard in the White House. The meeting between Polish President Karol Nawrocki and U.S. President Donald Trump was primarily aimed at strengthening political, economic, and military ties between our countries.
Those relations for me, for Poland, for Poles, are very important with the United States of America, and they are based on values: independence, sovereignty, democracy. And I think, Mr. President, that those values are epitomized by our common heroes, yes, Kazimierz Pułaski and Tadeusz Kościuszko. So thank you very much, and I hope it will be very fruitful discussion around the energy, around the economy and military service. Yeah.
It was a pretty tough race, pretty nasty race. And he beat them all, and he beat them all very easily. And now he's become even more popular as they got to know him and know him better. He's doing a really fantastic job. So it's an honor to. I also endorsed him, so I'm very proud of that. I don't endorse too many people, but I endorsed him, and I was very proud of that, the job he's done.
Before the two leaders sat down for talks, they had the opportunity to admire an air show featuring F-35 fighter jets. The Polish president's visit is a working visit, but it is nevertheless highly prestigious. We feel that the American side is treating this visit very seriously. The president is staying at Blair House, which is in the immediate vicinity of the White House, a beautiful residence where the Polish delegation is staying. He was received with full honors yesterday at Andrews Air Force Base. In addition to the meeting in the Oval Office, the presidents also talked at a plenary meeting in the form of a joint working breakfast. There is a high level that particularly distinguishes us as a junior partner. Karol Nawrocki will spend almost 3 hours there, where not only a press conference is planned, but also a kind of lunch where both delegations will talk calmly and get to know each other personally. Yesterday evening, U.S. time, the president was welcomed at Andrews Air Force Base by Abby Jones, Deputy Chief of Protocol at the State Department, and the military attaché of the Republic of Poland, General Krzysztof Nolbert. The Polish president then went to Blair House, a venue that reflects the prestige of the visit. Confidence and shared character traits are what bring President Nawrocki and President Trump closer together, which is why President Nawrocki was welcomed in this way in the United States, with due respect for the head of state, but above all for his closest ally, an ally with whom he has far-reaching plans. These long-term plans shared by both presidents begin today. First of all, this is President Karol Nawrocki's first meeting, his first foreign visit, as the president promised during his election campaign, as he is responsible for his words. His first visit is to the United States, and right after that, tonight, the president is flying to Italy, where he will meet with Italian President Sergio Mattarella and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, as well as an audience with Pope Leo XIV, the second most influential American in the world after Donald Trump. Before leaving for Italy, President Karol Nawrocki will speak to the media, where more details about the talks between the Polish and American presidents will be revealed. At the end of his visit, President Karol Nawrocki will lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery near Washington, D.C. This site was built as a tribute to the unknown American soldiers who died in wars fought by the United States.
Polish President Karol Nawrocki chose the White House for his first historic foreign visit. The United States is our most important ally and the most powerful country in the world. That is why the meeting with US President Donald Trump in Washington, less than a month after Karol Nawrocki's inauguration, is so important. The key issue today will be, above all, strengthening cooperation between Poland and the United States. The gestures coming from the American side, the reception given to President Karol Nawrocki, and the fact that this visit is taking place less than a month after Karol Nawrocki took office show that President Donald Trump takes the Polish president, the Polish leader, very seriously. Poland is an important partner for the United States. We are responsible for NATO's eastern flank, and we purchase the most modern American military equipment. The best possible relations with the United States are in our national interest. President Trump expects greater independence in terms of defense. He expects greater independence in terms of energy. And he expects a good economic climate and the attraction of American investment in the development of economic cooperation. President Karol Nawrocki is trying to meet him halfway on these issues. Europe continues to be an arena for international games. For years, Germany has been striving to push the United States out of the old continent. America needs a strong ally to counterbalance Berlin's policies and China's growing influence. Poland and the Three Seas Initiative could be such a partner. Washington, from what we read in this document, and even the Heritage Foundation, sees the Baltic region as key. Due to this, the possibility of transferring troops to the conflict region due to transport links and so forth. Thus, Poland plays a very important role here. It is the largest country in the Baltic region and can be the keystone and pillar of the alliance. Although Karol Nawrocki has been president for less than a month, this is already his second meeting with Donald Trump. During the election campaign, the two politicians met at the White House. At the time, the US leader predicted Karol Nawrocki's election victory.
President Trump powiedział, you will win.
President Trump told me, you will win. I interpret this as a kind of wish for my success in the upcoming election. Foreign policy is a kind of relay race in which the leaders should pass the baton to each other. This is the case with Polish President Nawrocki, who is continuing the work of former Polish President Duda. Andrzej Duda had very good relations with both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, which he repeatedly expressed. For President Trump, Poland is a special country. We were one of the few countries to fulfill our NATO commitments long before anyone thought about war in Ukraine. It was in Warsaw in 2017 that President Trump gave his memorable speech.
Poland is the geographic heart of Europe, but more importantly, in the Polish people, we see the soul of Europe. Your nation is great because your spirit.
The meeting with Donald Trump is also a political victory for Karol Nawrocki. This situation clearly shows on whom the American cabinet counts in Poland, and this hurts Donald Tusk's government.
And thank you very much for your support, for your endorsement during my very hard campaign.
Hence the hastily organized meeting between Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Minister Sikorski would not be himself if he refrained from attacking President Nawrocki. In the recording, he explained to the head of state how to behave around Donald Trump. To make your job easier, the Council of Ministers has adopted a position. This is so that the president knows what to stick to in his conversations. President Nawrocki has his own mind and knows how to talk to the most powerful politician in the world and does not need to receive such special instructions. Besides, Radosław Sikorski has to think twice before writing anything for him. His posts attacking Donald Trump, which have a negative impact on Polish-American cooperation, still echo today. He is only doing this to build up his most radical wing within the civic platform. He is willing to sacrifice the interests of our country in order to build up the radicals within the civic platform. Transatlantic cooperation is key to the security of the Polish state. Imperial Russia makes its presence known all the time. A meeting with Donald Trump could be a springboard to put our security and economy in a much better state. This is how Polish President Karol Nawrocki is building relations with Poland's largest and most important ally, the United States. The invitation to the White House is a clear sign that Donald Trump is betting on Poland, and today's conversation between the two leaders is proof of that.
But they've long wanted to have a larger presence. We have some countries that have more, not too many, but no, they'll be staying in Poland. We're very much aligned with Poland.
To the best military equipment on the world, American equipment, which build Polish security too.
Of course, security is a priority and its greatest guarantor is the United States.
Trzeba korzystać z tego, że pan prezydent Karol Nawrocki ma...
We must take advantage of the fact that President Karol Nawrocki has a very good relationship with President Trump and translate this into benefits for our country's security. The United States is the leader of the North Atlantic Alliance, and in order to build the Republic of Poland's resilience to external threats, we should take advantage of our cooperation with the United States. During his first term, Donald Trump emphasized that he was willing to build Fort Trump in Poland, that is, to increase the presence of American soldiers and military equipment on NATO's eastern flank.
Musimy robić wszystko, aby chronić sojusz polsko-amerykański. Jeśli Niemcy nie chcą amerykańskich wojsk u siebie, to mamy Polskę i prezydent Trump osobiście zadba o to, żeby granice Polski były bezpieczne.
Fort Trump
Fort Trump or something similar will inevitably increase our security. The Americans simply will not allow an attack on American soldiers to go unanswered. Karol Nawrocki's victory gives hope that the Americans will continue to be present in our region. This objective is of the utmost importance. Of course, maintaining a stable presence of American troops in Poland, because they are a guarantee of security in that wherever American soldiers are, an attack on that territory carries a high risk of being at war with the United States. This is the main advantage, the main goal, to ensure that American soldiers are present in Poland, especially in the face of Russian aggression in Ukraine and the imperial ambitions of the criminal Vladimir Putin. The United States has an arsenal that is indeed capable of effectively deterring Russian forces. At present, a total of over 10,500 soldiers are stationed in Poland. Close cooperation with the United States has a very real dimension for Polish security. Abrams tanks are already serving in the Polish army, and soon the most modern F-35 multi-role fighter jets will strengthen the Polish Air Force.
We współpracy ze Stanami Zjednoczonymi zbudowaliśmy.
In cooperation with the United States, we have built up the strength of the Polish army. In 2018, we signed an agreement to purchase 2 Patriot batteries, which are already in service with the Polish army. In 2023, we ordered 6 more. In 2019, the first squadron of HIMARS, a rocket artillery with a range of up to 300 kilometers, was delivered. We cannot count on the pipe dream of a European army, which Berlin and Brussels are striving for. Only a proven ally can guarantee real support.
Our countries in this bilateral relationship is absolutely pivotal and critical. Poland, the position that it sits in, the capability that it brings, our years of cooperation together with each other, our information sharing, all of those things have to be assured, have to be backed up. And so I'm excited.
Issues concerning Poland's security are currently being decided in Washington. And given the impotence of the December 13th coalition government, it is President Karol Nawrocki who represents Polish interests, that is security, and the Polish raison d'etat, which is a strong and stable alliance with the United States. There is quite a heavy burden on the president's shoulders to outline the areas where he has influence, where he can demonstrate a pro-Atlantic strategy and defense policy. The Polish-American alliance is growing in strength, which is very good news for our security.
5 people were attacked with a knife in a hotel in Marseilles in southern France. 1 person is in critical condition. The attacker, a Tunisian immigrant who shouted Allahu Akbar, was shot dead by anti-terrorist officers. We have 5 people injured, including 1 in critical condition. The attacker is dead. The police asked him to surrender his weapon. He did not comply, so they used their weapons. The attacker died despite attempts at resuscitation by paramedics and firefighters. The Tunisian man had 2 knives and a crowbar with him. According to the police, he was an immigrant who had been evicted from a hotel for not paying rent. The incident took place in the 1st district of Marseille. The man ran to the hotel room from which he had been evicted and stabbed the person who was occupying it. He then went to the lobby, where he injured the hotel manager. He then began chasing the manager's son, caught up with him on the street and stabbed him in the back. Moments later, the attacker entered a nearby restaurant where he shouted Allahu Akbar and attacked customers. He also tried to attack passerby and then the officers who were called to the scene.